When Pope Leo's plane touched down in Beirut, the entire country seemed to hold its breath. Church bells rang through the capital, foghorns echoed from the port, billboards lit up with the words, "Blessed are the peacemakers." It was a moment filled with hope and fear. Because to many Lebanese Christians, Leo's visit wasn't just symbolic. It felt like a prayer, a desperate, last-ditch attempt to save a nation that has survived so much struggle. This wasn't just a papal tour. It was a visit to a country on the edge, a country looking to a spiritual leader for reassurance, and maybe even a miracle. Lebanon went all out to welcome Pope Leo. Flags of Lebanon and the Vatican lined newly repaired roads. One of the country's biggest mobile carriers even changed its display name to Welcome Pope Leo. But as the bulletproof Pope Mobile rolled out of the airport, the skies opened up with a heavy Mediterranean downpour, a strangely fitting metaphor for Leo's arrival into a storm of political, economic, and existential turmoil. For many Lebanese Christians, the timing couldn't be more emotional. Their numbers have fallen steadily due to instability, financial collapse, and other threats. Lebanon still has the highest share of Christians in the Arab world, but the fear of mass emigration looms larger every year. In his first speech at the presidential palace, Pope Leo said, "You are a people who do not give up. Your resilience is an essential characteristic of authentic peacemakers." But then he addressed the painful reality. A challenge is ensuring that young people do not feel compelled to leave their homeland and emigrate. This isn't the first time a pope has tried to bring stability to Lebanon, but Pope Leo arrives at arguably the most volatile moment since the Civil War. Since the last papal visit in 2012, Lebanon has endured a financial collapse, a failed revolution, the pandemic, the Beirut port explosion, and a 13-month dispute with Israel. The country is exhausted, and many feel it is hanging by a thread. Mary Harb, a 33-year-old schoolteacher and Maronite Christian, summed it up clearly. Sometimes it just sucks being Lebanese, but the Pope symbolizes peace. It gives people hope that the future will be better. Mary has lived through visits from John Paul II, Benedict XVI, and now Pope Leo. Each visit came at a crossroads, but this one feels especially urgent. Lebanon's political landscape has shifted dramatically. Hezbollah has lost much of its military power and political influence. The United States is pressuring Lebanon to disarm Hezbollah. For Christians like Mary, the rise of Islamic groups in Syria and Hezbollah's continued influence at home add to the anxiety. Pope Leo's visit isn't only significant to Catholics. Tony Scarf, a Baptist pastor, made that clear. As Baptists, we don't believe in the Pope, but we see this as a political visit, support for our collapsing country and the Christian minority in general. Even those who don't follow the papacy understand the symbolism. Lebanon's Christians, regardless of denomination, feel increasingly vulnerable. Michael Young, a senior editor at the Carnegie Endowment's Middle East Center in Beirut, said that although Christians remain divided on politics, they share one thing: fear for their future. He doesn't see Pope Leo's visit as something that will magically fix Lebanon's deep-rooted problems, but he does believe the timing matters. A decade after the regional uprisings that caused a massive exodus of Christians from Syria and Iraq, the Vatican is trying to prevent Lebanon from experiencing the same fate. According to Young, the message is simple: stay. You still have a place here. In a powerful moment of symbolism, Pope Leo gathered leaders from all 18 of Lebanon's religious sects in Martyrs Square, once the dividing line of the Civil War. It was a scene of unity in a country that rarely sees it. But beneath that surface, tensions remain sharp. In an unexpected twist, young boys from the Hezbollah-run Imam Mahdi Scouts lined the streets to welcome the Pope. Hezbollah supporters even held portraits of both Pope Leo and their late leader, Hassan Nasrallah. At the same time, the Lebanese forces, the largest Christian political party, released a statement warning the Vatican not to be misled by Hezbollah's gestures. They accused Hezbollah of usurping the rights and freedoms of the Lebanese people. This is Lebanon, hope and hostility side by side. Large parts of southern Lebanon and the Bekaa Valley remain destroyed from the war. Members of Parliament begged Leo to visit the south to witness the human tragedy. A ceasefire technically ended the war last November, but 127 civilians have lost their lives since then. Father Pierre El-Rai, whose church sits a mile from the Israeli border, spoke with quiet strength. "We are still in the middle of a war, and we are still holding on to hope. We have not left our land. That's what matters." He hopes Pope Leo will give his community the spiritual strength to stay. His final words are a reminder of what so many Lebanese feel. War leads to war. Ruin leads to ruin. There is no other way than for peace to lead to peace. Pope Leo didn't come to Lebanon to solve its crises. No pope could. But he came to remind a fractured, frightened country that peace is still worth fighting for, and that its Christian community is not forgotten. His visit may not change political realities, but it changed something deeper. It reminded people that they're not alone, not abandoned, and not without hope. And sometimes that's the first step toward rebuilding a nation.